Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. We have a deal on infrastructure. President Biden just announced that we have a deal after meeting with the Senate Bipartisan Infrastructure Group. Let's take a look at this headline on your screen from CNBC. We have a deal, President Biden says, after meeting with the Senate Infrastructure Group. The president did declare that we have a deal on a major infrastructure initiative after meeting with a bipartisan group of senators. Now, the two sides still need to finalize how they would pay for the plan as Republicans make sure that the 2017 tax cuts are not touched, and President Biden says he will not raise the gas tax or electric vehicle user fees. The Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi separately met with White House officials as they tried to pass this infrastructure plan along with the broader package of priorities from the Democrats. This is big news, everyone. Here's another headline on your screen, this time from Bloomberg. President Biden says he has an infrastructure deal with a bipartisan group of senators because these senators presented a $559 billion framework at the White House. Now, some details of the infrastructure plan still need to be worked out. And this is what the president said, I quote, "We have a deal." This is what he said to reporters. But he said that the bill could move alongside separate legislation that would spend hundreds of billions of dollars more on what he called human infrastructure. And that is what the Republicans are opposing. The president said, I quote, "This is going to be a two-track system." And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that her chamber, the House, would not consider the bipartisan deal without the accompanying legislation. So this means that on the one hand, everything looks good as far as the Democrats and Republicans are concerned in terms of a bipartisan deal. But on the other hand, the Democrats are going to try and push and make sure they get what they want, and they'll attempt to pass through whatever they can through the United States Congress and as well as the United States House of Representatives. Here's a tweet on your screen from Vivian Salama, who's a national security reporter for the Wall Street Journal. And this is what Vivian wrote. Following his impromptu remarks at the Sticks outside the West Wing, the White House says the president will give more formal remarks on the infrastructure package today. Here's a headline of an article on your screen from the Associated Press. "We have a deal," President Biden said, along with a bipartisan group of senators. So as you can see, progress is indeed being made. In fact, let's take a look at the President of the United States in this clip where the president says, I quote, "We made serious compromises on both ends on the infrastructure package." And he says, "I want to thank each and every one of them." Let's roll the tape and watch President Biden. Let's watch.
One of the things that we agreed on infrastructure, we made serious compromises on both ends. There is, and they'll give you the numbers. But they did not, and I understand their position. Republicans and this group did not want to go along with any of my family plan issues, the child care tax credits, the human infrastructure that I talk about. And that we'll see what happens in a reconciliation bill in the budget process. If we get some compromise there, and if we can't, see if I can attract all the Democrats to a position that is there. But they're gonna move in a dual track, and that's all I say. But I want to thank each and every one of them. It's been, a lot of us go back a long way where we're used to doing one thing, give each other our word, and that's the end. Nobody questions it. They have my word. I'll stick with what they proposed, and they've given me their word as well. So where I come from, that's good enough for me.
And in another very interesting clip outside the Capitol, Senator Kristen Sinema, the Democrat from Arizona, talks to the cameras and says, "Try and cut out the peg leg." And Romney says, "It's amazing what she'll do to get the cameras to follow her." And Sinema says, "I'm the opposite. I think you're confusing me with Joe, specifically Joe Manchin." Very interesting comments. Let's roll the tape and watch.
Try to cut out the peg leg. Yeah.
It's amazing what it's amazing what she'll do to get the cameras to follow her, right?
I'm the opposite. I think you're confusing me with Joe.
All right, guys, we need to clear this. We got our motorcade. You ready to come through?
Get to one side or the other, all right?
Also, here's another tweet on your screen. This one's from Monica Alba, who's an NBC News White House correspondent. And Monica provides us with the breakdown of the bipartisan infrastructure framework. And she said that President Biden is expected to speak on the specifics of this entire proposal, which in its entirety is $1.2 trillion. Let's show you the bipartisan infrastructure framework. And this again will represent the largest infrastructure investment in America's history. This will include $579 billion in new spending to rebuild America's roads and bridges, improve public transit systems, expand passenger rail, upgrade our ports and airports, invest in broadband infrastructure, fix our water systems, modernize our power sector, and improve climate resilience. The plan would be paid for in part by closing the tax gap, in other words, essentially increasing taxes on wealthy Americans, redirecting unspent emergency relief funds and other offsets. So you can start to see the breakdown on your screen right now, and you'll see that there's $312 billion for transportation, $266 billion for other infrastructure. And on this image, you'll see the proposed financing sources for the new investments: reducing the IRS tax gap, unemployment insurance program integrity, making sure that the unemployment insurance program is managed better, and redirecting unused and unemployment insurance relief funds towards this infrastructure spending, repurposing unused funds from 2020, state and local investment in broadband infrastructure, allowing states to sell or purchase unused toll credits for infrastructure, extending expiring customs users fees, reinstalling Superfund fees for chemicals, 5G spectrum auction proceeds, extend mandatory sequester, strategic petroleum reserve sale, and so much more. So this is very interesting what's going on. So let us know what you think in the comment section below, because there's clearly been a deal as far as infrastructure is concerned. Finally, let's show you another headline on your screen from Axios, and you'll see this headline, and it says White House bipartisan group agree on infrastructure framework. As the president speaks, there'll be more announcements that are emerging, and you can be sure that we'll provide you with the latest news on our channel at Ignition Time. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Thank you so much for watching. I want you to know that you are greatly appreciated. We work hard on this channel every single day to bring you the latest news pertaining to the country, the economy, as well as our money. I want you to know that I will always be here for you, bringing you the latest news, and all I ask in return is that you please click the like button, please subscribe, please enable notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.